It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
David the freaking diver. We have to talk about this guy today on the podcast, along with some parenting stuff. I am deathly afraid of something that came to a head today. Some reality TV show thoughts. It's gonna revolve around Survivor, but it's about all reality TV shows. I've talked about it before, but we need to just clarify something. The Final Four is happening. I think I'm gonna give a shout out to Darnay Tripp. We'll see about that, and maybe a little bit more. But let's get into this. Let's just start with today. I'm recording this on Sunday night. Hi, thanks for listening to the Sean Widmer Podcast. Really appreciate it. Patreon people, those who are subscribing to the Patreon. This has been a bad Patreon month. March was. Thank you for hanging in there. Without you, this podcast that didn't happen a lot this month wouldn't happen. I apologize. We get to it in April. We have had a month in the Widmer house. I talked about all the sickness and stuff. My wife posted a picture on Instagram if you follow her. You also saw the other great thing that happened this month. My son Huck's first x-ray. That was great this month. That was worked in the middle of all that. We were recapping. I recapped the month, looking at my wife post pictures from the month at the end of the month, and I was like, we had a lot happen. We had a lot happen at the house in the month of March. But to the Patreon subscribers, thank you. Another month of keeping this podcast going means a lot. Thank you. Without you, it doesn't happen, period. Okay, today, Sunday, I'm going to mow the lawn. Got to get it done. Two things happened with this. Well, let's start with the lawnmower situation. Last summer, we got a riding lawnmower. We've got a pretty decent-sized backyard. Well, it's kind of deceiving. Our backyard looks really big. We do not actually own all of our backyard. A lot of it is green space in the neighborhood, but we maintain that green space, and so our yard looks huge. But really, it doesn't go super far back off the back of our house. But we have a riding lawnmower because there's just a lot. It was taking me 3 hours to hand mow it, and that was too much. That was too long. So we've got the riding lawnmower. Did the thing. This happens to me with everything I own that has to do with mechanics. It's just mechanical stuff. It happens every time. Thought I did everything you need to do at the end of last year. It's not like it's a long off season in Kentucky from one mow to the next one. It's a couple months off. And so I thought I did everything you need to. Go to start the lawnmower today, excited to mow the lawn. Crank the key over, nothing. Nothing at all. Not a thing. Nothing. Dead. Just don't know what to do. When that happens to me, I'm at a loss. I have no idea what to look at. I'm not mechanical at all. And so I just sit there and I look at it. I cry a little bit. I waited 20 minutes, thought, maybe that was just a fluke. Went back out again, and now I'm at a loss. You Google what to do, and there's dudes taking off the hood of the riding lawnmower, and they've got different kind of screwdrivers and wrenches and all these things, and they're like, just do this and this and that. I'm like, no, man, I don't even know what tools you have, let alone fiddle with all these little tiny things around the engine. So I don't know what to do. I'm sitting here frustrated, and my lawn is now just going to grow over my house. I'm going to have fern gully, which I can't have because of what happened right before I mowed my lawn. Deathly afraid of something. I despise snakes. I think there's some people out there who say they hate snakes, and it's the thing, they hate snakes. I truly am mortified by snakes. And so today, I went to clean up the backyard before I mowed it. So I'm going to go around. Very windy in Kentucky lately, extremely windy, and a lot of trash had blown in from all over the neighborhood into the green space in my backyard. We also have in my backyard anything in the street. When rain hits, it goes into these storm drains, and it shoots out in between my house and the neighbor's house into the back area. The water is supposed to just rush out. That also just collects trash and shoots it into my backyard, which kind of stinks. And so I'm going to go back and pick it all up. Well, there's a fire pit in our backyard that has a cover over it, and that cover had blown off with one of the windstorms and was set up against the edge of the fire pit, this little brick fire pit. And I picked up this thing to put this cover on my patio so that I could mow around the fire pit. When I picked it up, something moved. And it kind of moved at me. and it was a snake. Now, we're not talking about a big snake here, everyone. We're talking about maybe a 2, maybe 3, 2.5 feet, 2.5 feet long snake. It moved toward me, and I screamed out loud. Loud enough. I kind of was worried that neighbor Gary was going to come see what happened. That loud enough that was in play. And it was bad. And I've realized I'm totally afraid. And I froze. All these times in your head when you tell yourself, man, if something happened where there was someone coming at me or something coming at me or this and that, I'm gonna go bullet time mode like the Matrix, and I'm gonna dodge out of the way of something. Bam, I'm gonna punch this guy in this bar fight that's broken out of my head. Everything's gonna go slow motion. Oh man, if a mountain lion ever attacks me, it's going to jump out of the tree. I'm going to see it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to move out of the way. Bam, punch right through its brain. Mortal Kombat style. A 2.5-foot snake moved on the ground, and I went Sub-Zero, speaking of Mortal Kombat, frozen in time. That thing could have had its way with me. Had it been any kind of a venomous attack style snake, it would have eaten me by the time I started moving. I was done. Totally done. And this snake was there. I froze, and that was it. That was it for me. An hour and a half later, my wife got home. My heart was still racing an hour and a half later. So this was a reality that hit me today. I don't do well with those spiders and snakes. And it's not just I don't like spiders, I don't like snakes. I'm deathly afraid. Heights is also on that list for me. I'm very scared of heights. And it's not. I don't think it's as bad as snakes, though. That's what I was piecing together my power rankings for what I'm most afraid of. I think it is heights third, spiders 2, snakes running away with it at number 1. Good night. Scared the living pants off me. I froze. Really did. For a long time. Too long. What's happening? That was happening outside the house. Inside the house, we've got a 9-month-old that just started crawling. 100 miles per hour. Love it. I mean, it's terrifying, but I love it. We've got a 3-year-old who, over this last week, has decided it's time, and he's dressing himself so he can pull his undies up, he can get his pants on, and he's about 30% at getting his shirt on. It's 50-50 on whether the underwear are forwards or backwards, and the pants 50-50 forwards or backwards, but he can get clothes on. So that's been a big development. But all those things pale in comparison to the 5-year-old who, she's my first child. She's my girl. I love Olivia. And we had a moment the other day that just tore my heart out in a good way, but also in a sad way because, all the songs, all the things, your kids grow up right before your eyes. I am on record, and I will stay on record as I am ready for some. There's an age there where I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to miss the constant crying of Huck Widmer from 1 to 2, where it never stopped ever. I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to want it back. What note did I hit there? Not the right one. Anyhow, Olivia was going to go to the store with Anna. They were going to go to Target. And Olivia had got some money she wanted to spend on some things. Spoiler alert, lip gloss. And she was excited. So she's going with Mom on a little outing. And she went upstairs. She got dressed. She walked downstairs. I'm on the living room floor with Woods. He is crawling all over the place. I'm kind of trying to wrangle him to stay inside of sort of a manageable area. And she just walked right by me. She goes, "See you, Dad. I'm going out with Mom." And she just walked off, walked into the garage, buckled her seatbelt, and she was gone. That was it. And that's so simple, right? That's such a simple thing that's going to be the rest of my life. But it hadn't really happened before. There's normally a lot of, can I get help with my shoes? Can I get help with my clothes? Hey, can I get help buckling into the car seat? Dad, can you carry me? Dad, are you coming? Like, there's normally a lot of conversation between we're going to Target and leaving the garage. A lot. We're done with it. It was a simple walk by, no stop, no look, no, Dad, can I get a hug? Nothing. It was just, Dad, I'm going to the store with Mom, fully dressed, gone, buckled the seatbelt by herself, didn't need help with anything, and she was out. And I'm looking at Huck. I know he's next. He's got a backwards shirt, backwards underwear, backwards pants on, but he's on his way. It's a weird feeling, right? So that's happening inside the house. None of that, that might have been scary on Saturday, looking at life passing by. That fear of that was nothing compared to a 2.5-foot snake in the backyard. That's the ultimate. I'm never going outside again. I have to pay someone to mow my lawn now because 1, I can't get my mower to work, but 2, I have no interest in going back there. The day before, we had been in the backyard taking family photos. If I had seen that during family photos, it would have been a picture of a lifetime for that gal taking pictures. Okay, let's see. What do we need to talk? A little bit of sports, some reality TV, and a video game. Let me spin a wheel. Okay, we're going to start with sports. Sports, then we're going to do reality TV, then we're going to do video game. Stay tuned for the video game, you video game junkies. Stay tuned. We've got all 4 number 1 seeds going to the NCAA Final Four. All 4 number 1 seeds. My brother-in-law, Patrick, has been a big-time spokesperson for, he's anti-expansion in the tournament. 68 teams is too many. 64 was already too many for Patrick. And he looks at this year, and he's got, a great example. 68 teams were in. The 4 number 1 seeds are in the Final Four. Now, this is the first time it's happened since 2008. But there they are, right? We watched all these games, cheered for upsets and all this, and the 4 number 1 seeds are right there where they should be. Did we watch it for nothing? Well, I like watching hoops, so there's some value in that for me. But there's some things I take away from this before we dive into these 4 teams. I have been pretty outspoken about the fact I enjoy the upsets, but I do not like them. George Mason, Sister Jean, C.J. McCollum back in the day with Lehigh. It's cute when a team upsets another team, a big team, and we all get excited. And Duke loses early, Virginia loses to a 16th seed. It's cute. But what ends up happening is eventually that team runs into a good team, and they revert back to their normal self, and they get beat by 30. And so I've always said, hey, these upsets are fun in the moment, but they lead to worse games down the road. I might be wrong about that. Because after watching a ton of blowouts in the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four and a lot of not enjoyable games, I would have rather have seen High Point lose to whoever it would have been, Houston or Tennessee today in a blowout, than watch Houston and Tennessee, because that game stunk. And I would have had a lot more enjoyment watching High Point upset 3 teams on the way to this point. So I may be wrong on that. I thought that all these chalk teams would equal great games, and they don't. And I should have known this, and I didn't look at history. History proves this. The last time all 4 number 1 seeds were in the Final Four was 2008. I think it's the only other time it's ever happened. And those teams were these 2 matchups: UCLA against Memphis and Kansas against North Carolina. Now, Kansas played Memphis in that championship game. Mario Chalmers, 2 seconds left, hits the 3 to force overtime. Kansas goes on to win. Fantastic national championship. Watched it with Scott Ferguson in my living room while my roommate Sam was watching in his bedroom, and his TV was 3 or 4 seconds ahead of the one in the living room. Why Sam didn't just come to the living room and watch, I don't know, but Sam would cheer, and then we would see the play that he cheered for moments later, including the Mario Chalmers shot. We knew Sam was cheering for Kansas. We hear an eruption from his room, and 4 seconds later, Scott and I watched Mario Chalmers hit this huge 3. Anyways, the championship game was really good. But those Final Four games, Memphis beat UCLA 78-63, and Kansas beat North Carolina 84-66. They were not good games. So, I have said a lot that when these big high seeds win, it's going to lead to great games down the stretch. It's proven to be wrong, and I think I'm going to revert, and I'm going to join all of you who like the upsets. I think I'm going to join you next year. I do want a big-time school to win, but I think I'm going to be team upset moving forward. We've seen it now. I've seen it as a grown adult man. I'm in on the upsets. Also, Duke's going to win the championship. I don't know if It's not happening. That no one else is. Florida, you're not. I thought you were going to be good enough. You're not good enough to challenge Duke. Auburn, you might. You're one of your best players might be hurt right now. He bent his legs and arms and his whole right side of his body bent backwards, all of his limbs. Houston is going to potentially be able to give Duke a run. Potentially, Duke's just so good. They're so stinking good. It's so fun to say Con Knipple, right? We all love it. It's fun to say. Cooper Flagg is the best player in the tournament. Tyrese Proctor is ridiculously good at basketball. What's our big guy, Malachuk? I forget. I don't remember how to say his name. He's a man. He's a man. Grown man. Duke's going to win. Okay, that was quick sports. Too much of it. I'm excited for the Final Four, but I will say those games this weekend, a lot of those were rough to watch. Not all of them, but a lot of them were. Survivor has shown an issue, and it is one that I have with a lot of reality TV shows, and I don't know how to approach it because approaching this topic makes me look even like more of a worse human than I am. And I would get criticized for this when I was on the radio. People didn't like this. The show I was on, Jay and Kevin's show, people wanted more positive and just vanilla. They didn't want to be challenged. People didn't want to be challenged. People didn't want to have their very easy opinions challenged. And I like to do that. I like to make sure there's other angles to things. So that's why I do it now on my podcast. But one of the things I despise on American Idol, America's Got Talent, The Voice, and Survivor is something that came up in Survivor this last week that is being met by the critics, excuse me, and a lot of fans with rave reviews, and a lot of people are loving it. I really hate it. In fact, I'm in a group text thread with Pat, Ashley, Tony, Liz, my wife, and me. We have a Survivor Pick'em going on. And in this text thread this week, we were getting texts like, I'm not crying, you're crying, and crying emojis, and everyone was getting all emotional at what happened in Survivor this week. And I was like, I can't respond to this. So here's what happened in Survivor. For those of you who don't watch, it's not a recap, but this is something that happens in reality shows. Eva is a girl in the show who has autism. And, excuse me, she has autism, and they have addressed it on the show. And I thought they did a really good job addressing, okay, they've got a couple people. They've got Eva who has autism. Mitch has a really bad speech impediment. And they've done a good job focusing on these two people as like, look, if you're a kid watching and you have autism, you have a really bad speech impediment, and you're worried about how that's going to affect you in the future, I think Survivor's done a really good job of highlighting these people and saying, look, Mitch is on Survivor. Eva's on Survivor. You can do things that you really think are cool, even though you're very worried about whatever ailment you have. And Survivor's had a lot of different things over the years. You can do it, and you can push through, and you can do hard things, and you can do cool things. I think it's really cool that Survivor does this. Excuse me, man. And I like that part. So, what's my problem? Because on Wednesday night, Eva had a real breakdown on the show. And it was real, and it was right there in front of everyone. And she had a moment where, she had mentioned to this guy, Joe, she squeezes her hands. She starts to do these things. And in these situations, she needs someone to come hug her, squeeze and like work through the issue. And it was really cool. And it was again, powerful moment to not only the people who are struggling with things like this that Survivor brings up, but I think also to parents who have kids who maybe have, like, I'm using these as an example because they're in this year's Survivor. You have a kid who has a really bad speech impediment, and you're worried about that. You have a kid who has autism, and you're worried about that. I think it's great as a parent to see we've got people on this national scene with issues that maybe your kids have, and this is what they're doing. I think it's very motivating. I like this part. Why do I have a problem? Where am I a bad person in this? Because I think that stuff is the human part that I like. I like this part. I like having these examples for people who are out there in the real world struggling. I'm a sports guy. I watch a lot of TV for the scoreboard. I'm watching Survivor to see someone win $1 million. I want to watch someone outwit, outplay, and outlast everyone on the cast and win $1 million. That's what I want. Okay? And I want there to be some backstabbing. I want there to be some honesty, some lies, some deceit. I want there to be big challenge wins. I want there to be big strategic moves. And I want the person who plays the best game to win. I want the person who scores the most points to win the game. American Idol, I want the best singer, pound for pound best singer to win. Same with The Voice. And this is what happened Wednesday, and this is why this season of Survivor is going to be difficult for me. Eva has her moment, and they address the part where she's got autism. They let her have a moment to be on the pedestal, discuss it, talk about it. It's powerful. Again, powerful TV. They go back to camp, and Star gives Eva an immunity idol. Star had found this Beware advantage. She had let Eva work on it. You had to solve like this little puzzle on this box, spelt a word, and when you got the word right, it unlocked, and there was an immunity idol in there. Eva unlocks it, gets the word, and Star, instead of doing what other tribes had done when someone else got the word, the person who found the Beware advantage gets the idol. Star gives it to Eva. And there's commentary in there that I wish I had the exact quote, but it starts to talk about, well, this is more than a game now. This is more than a game. Let's give it to Eva. We're Team Eva. People who didn't like her now like her. We're Team Eva, and this is going to drive me crazy. Because as much as I like the powerful moment, it's not why I'm watching Survivor. I'm not watching for stories. I'm not watching for that feel-good stuff. You're on the show now, and it's really cool that you get to be an example for an entire group of people who struggle with the same thing as you, but now you're in the ring. And so now it's Survivor time. And now there's rules in Survivor. And now there's the way the game's supposed to be played. And I think for me, and this is, again, I'm not in this world, but once you're in the playing field, I would want everyone to be level, right? Whatever you bring to the table, I say we address it. We prove to people out there, look, you can come on this show, you can do things that you didn't think you could do, and you can do it. But once you're in, everyone's on the same playing field. And I don't like how this is set up now, where we've got someone on there who's going to get special treatment. One, I think it looks bad. I think it looks bad. And that may be wrong. This is why I'm saying it might be a bad opinion. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to the person who's going through whatever the situation might be. I don't think they came on the show to be like, oh, I have this thing I deal with in life. Give me special treatment on the show. I think they want to play just like everyone else. Okay, I've had to cut like 3 times in the recording because I'm having a coughing fit. Still getting over this cough and cold. But I think you get my point. So that's where I'm at with Survivor. And I really hope this season doesn't turn into a let's look at a situation outside. Again, I get the bad take. Let's look at a situation outside of this. This is bigger than the game, and let's celebrate that. I don't know. It's not why I watch Survivor. Sorry. It's not why I watch Survivor. It's not why I watch American Idol. They've had so many times where someone with a really interesting story makes it way too far in American Idol or The Voice, because they've got a unique story. It's not a story. It's not a story competition. It's a singing competition. It's why I stopped watching American Idol altogether. Couldn't do it anymore. I'm there for the singing, not the story. It turned into a story show. Good riddance from me. All right, that's all. Wow, that was a long time talking about that. Am I opinionated on it? Yeah, just a little. Dave the Diver. You know what? I got to hit a button for that.
Kelly's, what are you into?
I wanted to make this part longer than that bad Survivor stuff, but I didn't. And so now you get a quick opinion before I die of a cough of Dave the Diver. It happened this weekend. I was looking at the free games I can download on my PlayStation just to see what was out there. And this is a shout out to Fortnite. I've been playing Fortnite with Mike. Man. Jeez Louise. Playing Fortnite with Mike, and the servers went down this weekend. So it's late. It was a late Friday night. I came home and I was like, I could probably go for 30 minutes, maybe one round of Fortnite, just to put a bow on the night. And so I log in, servers are down. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, well, what can I play just to kind of unwind in the night? Everyone in my house is asleep. What can I play? So I'm looking, and I see this game, Dave the Diver, which had won a ton of awards back in 2023. I think the game came out in November 2022, and it really was popular 2023. And I'm like, it's free. Let me try it. Let me download it. What a bad choice that was. Because it consumed my Friday night. I was up way too late. Then Saturday, I woke up really, really early. I woke up like an hour before the kids did, and I played Dave the Diver until the first kid woke up. Had the day with the family, hung out. Saturday night, watched the basketball games, got home from watching the Duke game, and everyone in my house is asleep. I played Dave the Diver till like 2 a.m. Tonight, Sunday night, 9 o'clock, everyone in my house goes to sleep. I knew I needed to record the podcast. Played Dave the Diver till 11, and then started recording the podcast. It's too late. This game is so addicting. I don't know the last time I've been this addicted to a game in a long, long time. And it's so simple and basic. It's a cozy game. Is I think the new genre. That's the genre that you'd put it in now. Kind of a cute name for a game genre. Man, I'm sorry about the cough. It's real annoying to listen to. I'm not going to edit them all out. So this game, 16, 32-bit graphics, looks very old school. It is a sort of a fishing, it's a sushi fishing game. That's all it is. There's an underlying story to it that goes on throughout the game. I'm not paying attention to it because this game is made to listen to a podcast and play the game. It's made for that. You take a character, you dive him into the ocean, you harpoon, or however you want to catch fish. Harpoon's the main way when you start the game. Harpoon fish, you reel them in, you collect as much as you can carry, take it back to your boat. That's your morning run. You do an afternoon run, same thing. You swim around the ocean. The deeper you go, the more rare the fish, but the deeper you go, the quicker your oxygen could run out. You can run into more dangerous fish that can make your oxygen run out in a bad way. And so you start the game off low level, and you just kind of work the top of the water, collecting fish. Then after your second dive, you go back to the sushi restaurant you've opened, and you do sort of a mini game where you serve sushi to clients. And you have to do it quickly, and you're also doing little mini games while you serve the food, pouring green tea and pouring beer for clients. And you're doing all this in this quick mini game. And then if you get everyone served, it shows how much money you made for the day. So that's it. 2 dives, the dinner rush, and there are some elements that get thrown in day by day that could be interesting. Oh, tonight's Marlin night. So you want to make sure you've collected Marlin the days leading up to Marlin night, and you didn't use it in your restaurant the nights previous to Marlin night. And then Marlin night, you just use all the Marlin you've caught, and you make a ton of money. And then you use the money you make to upgrade your oxygen tank so you can last in the water longer. You get your carrying capacity up so you can carry more fish. You can get more fish when you're out there. You can go deeper. Like you got a thing that can get you deeper into the water. There's some other little upgrades that you get as you progress that help you while you're doing your fishing. This game is pure addiction. I'm enjoying it so very much. It is mindless, but it is very fun. Dave the Diver. I'm sure a lot of people have played it because it was a super popular game when it came out, and it dominated 2023. I heard so much about it, I just never downloaded it. And it was free on my PlayStation, so I tried it, and I'm in. I can't wait to play it next. I got to find these eels to feed this guy this eel. I got this guy in my restaurant who's coming up every night, hoping I can serve him this eel sushi, and I can't find these doggone eels in the ocean. I got to find them. Got to find them, guys. All right, it's a great game. Dave the Diver. Highly recommend it. I think it's out on Switch, consoles. That's a console. PC. Worth checking out Dave the Diver. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to the podcast, the Coughs a Lot podcast. Sorry I'm a heartless son of a gun. Story fans.